Mountain flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is something special. The light, the shadows, the snowfields, the rivers carving through valleys, it's endlessly spectacular. I never get tired of it. But beauty isn't the whole story. Mountain flying comes with real challenges, especially once you drop down into this terrain. Updrafts, downdrafts, tight valleys, confined landing spots, they all mean you're constantly reading the conditions and planning your next move. Now, this video isn't sponsored, but I'm using these incredible New Zealand hut packs from Tussock Game Creations. Literally hundreds of backcountry huts, endless mountain flying routes, and later in the video you'll have a chance to win your choice of one of these packs, and all you need to do is subscribe to my newsletter, and the link for that is in the video description. Now, I'm not a certified flight instructor. Everything in this and all my videos is done to help you get more enjoyment and confidence in your home simulation. So let's get into these mountains and let's fly. A lovely Helisika base in the central North Island of New Zealand, free for you on flightsim.to, and a lovely accompaniment to Tussock Games Creations Kaimanawa Ranges and Kaweka Ranges scenery pack. And what better helicopter to go into them the hills than this Taugsanger 500C in a retro New Zealand livery, no less. Very familiar aircraft type in the skies of New Zealand. Welcome aboard. Let's get started. So I am going to put a little bit of weight into this helicopter, not too much. I dealt with hot, high and heavy flight performance in an earlier video. You can check that out. I'm just going to get one person into here. Let's just say 90 kilos for that person, and we'll just get some cargo on board. We're just over 1,000 kilos, so I think that's going to be fine for the purposes of this trip. Not too heavy is the point there. So here is Lake Taupo in the central North Island. I just zoom in somewhat. Here is Helisika base, and I would like to go to this one, Tauranga Taupo Hut, part of Tussock Game Creations scenery here. Direct to, please. I am going to take a bit of a detour because I want to show you something about this little range here, and we're going to just talk about something to be aware of during our mountain flying with that as my prop. So let's get taking off here. We've got winds 7 knots from my 304, so that's about here. Wind's currently at my 5 o'clock, 7 knots. I'm just going to nose around to get into that wind. Head tracking on, and now left pedal, small amount of left cyclic, aft stick. Looking out from the helicopter, not quite so much left pedal required. Now it's going to be a bit squirrely with the wind behind us, so we're going to try and fix that situation immediately with a pedal turn to our right. We are going to gain a bit of height here in this maneuver because we're going into the wind, and we get the benefit of that wind carrying some of the rough air, the vortices, off our rotor disc. It's not quite the same as effective translational lift yet, not fast enough for that. So ETL occurs when we nose down a bit. And we pass through probably about 15 to 20 knots of forward airspeed. There's the effect for an FS Realistic Plus, and that's when we're operating with lovely clean air across the rotor disc. All of the dirty air is being blown away behind us. The rotor works in cleaner air therefore, and we get a bit of free lift from that and better performance. So we are approaching a ridge that, I'll just zoom in here a bit. You can see it's going more or less left to right in my view, and I'm indicating it on the map there as well. So why have I chosen this? Well, the wind is coming head on here. So I've got the wind coming from, just cheat with my own info bar there, about 275 degrees, so just actually over here. So what therefore do you think might be important about our considerations of climbing over this ridge when I've got the wind coming head on here on this ridge which is running left to right? If you're thinking that we might be in a downdraft situation here, yes, I agree with you. I'll bring the map back. The air will move up onto this upward slope here and will cause updrafts. It will flow over the top and then cause downdrafts on the side. Now this helicopter is pretty light today, so no problem, but watch what happens here. We're about to crest it now. We're going to try and hold the attitude steady. Watch what happens to the VSI as soon as we clear it. Oh, it's actually going down there. But now that we're clearing it now, look at that. It's rising up now. So I think we experienced everything there. I think we had a bit of a downdraft, and I predict now with the ground falling off below me that the VSI will increase. I'm really trying to hold the attitude steady, but it'll look like about a 500 feet a minute difference there. So not massive today, but something to bear in mind in your mountain flying. The rougher the terrain, the stronger the effect will be, and the more random and the rougher it will be. The heavier the wind, the stronger the updraft on the windward side will be, and the stronger the downdraft on the leeward side will be. So what I might have done there to make that even more careful would have been to maybe, instead of approaching it head on like I did, if I was concerned about performance, and you always should be, it might have been a bit safer for me to go at maybe a 45-degree angle. So if I lost power and I was worried about my ability to climb over that range, I could have done a 90-degree turn to the left to escape it, instead of a 135 to 180-degree turn to escape it if I was going head-on into it. So you can approach a ridge line like that obliquely for a bit more safety. Right, getting ourselves back on track now. There's the green line. And why do you suppose I'm flying or trying to fly on the windward side of this next ridge that we're going down here? Yes, if you're thinking that it's because I want to make use of the updrafts, you're dead right. So I can visualize this in SimUpdate 5 with Alt-6. We can see some rising thermals coming off here. I remain a little bit unsure whether this includes all of the updrafts and downdrafts, but you can see the benefit of coming alongside the windward side of a ridge here as the wind strikes, as the wind is moving in my view here from right to left. So approach briefing as we continue along here. We know that we've got this west-norwesterly breeze coming in from about this direction here, from up here, blowing down here. And so the hut here is located along a river. Okay, that's fine. It's at 2,500 feet. I am currently at 5,000 feet. In fact, it might just be down there. I might be able to cheat and go V. Yeah, there we go. Along a Topor hut. So that's where it is right there. I make use of those very handy point of interest markers so that you can get a bit more of a sense of what I'm doing here. So I need to descend, and I can do that. I'm going to stick on the edge of this particular valley here. If you're going to choose which side of the valley to fly along, rather than go down the dead center, you might instead consider flying along one edge, which is thought to be safer than the others. There's two factors at play here. One is your view from the pilot seat. It'd be probably better for me if I could fly on the other side of the valley, so I could see out to my left here. But what I anticipate is that I'm going to get better updrafts and thermals on this side of the valley, so a bit safer to stay on this side. If I've got an engine failure now, I could probably just keep on gliding straight ahead and down, and maybe make a bit profitable use of those thermals and updrafts happening here. And I might just make it down to that river down below there. It's a long way down, but I might just be able to auto-rotate safely down there in the event of an engine failure. Part of mountain flying is that you're thinking constantly about what you might have to do in the event of an emergency. Well, here we are along the river. This is looking good. There's the hut there, and what I'm going to do is a reconnaissance pass. So yes, I'm going more or less into the wind right now. That's good. I can just start to see the shape of the hut now. Get the head tracking back on, make this a little bit easier. I don't need to zoom past at the higher speed, so I'm just going to collective down and nose up a bit to lose a bit of that speed, and just have a look at this landing zone. So there's an empty patch of grass on this side of the hut, with some trees there at my end of it down there that I'm going to have to clear. So pretty good. Look at this river with those fallen logs. That's so great. So great. Okay, so How am I going to handle this? I'm going to just get my speed back up. I've probably got a bit too slow there in my excitement admiring the fallen logs. That I'm just going to pull a bit of collective now, get my speed back up, and just do a 180-degree turn here. I'll need right pedal to keep this coordinated. Looking up the valley again. There's the hut, the landing zone again. That I think is more or less confirming what I got on my initial first impressions looking down there. The trees just changed colour. A little seasonal glitch inside MSFS 2024. Okay, up the river we go, and I need to perform one more 180-degree turn without gaining too much speed here, and then not losing too much speed in the turn either. We want to keep it all nice and coordinated again. So around we come. Right pedal will be required here. I'm just watching the slip indicator there, just under the artificial horizon. Keep that ball in the centre, which I'm doing with a bit of right pedal right now. So let's keep our speed in the green arc there. We don't want to get too slow too quickly. I think I'm just going to, at this point, just come along the sort of the river bank here. If we had to put down here to be into those heavy stones, not great. But possibly better than uneven terrain under all those trees. Got too slow there, so nose down again. Don't slow down too much. We've got 30 knots on now. Effective translational lift for sure. Into the breeze too. It's probably at my 1 o'clock right now. I need to clear these trees, so I'm just making this quite steep. So it's a shallow approach initially, and then a steep one when we're dealing with having to clear obstacles. And then this last part there, that got a bit fast. The descent rate we would preferably keep at, from this point, no greater than 300 feet per minute, so that we don't risk vortex ring state, which is when the helicopter is descending into its own downwash and we lose all lift. So when we add power in a vortex ring state, we actually accelerate our descent. Not ideal. So I'm just trying to keep it very gentle. Come over here a bit closer to the hut with confidence that I have cleared those hazards behind me. Head tracking off, and let's look outside. Yeah, not bad. If I'm honest, that clearance around the tail rotor for those shrubs there is maybe not as great as what I thought it was. I kind of thought it was a bit closer to the hut, so that's a permanent lesson there. Just being mindful about sort of what's behind the helicopter. That would have been easier in virtual reality. I'm just doing this in 2D to make the video a bit nicer for you. Well, more mountain flying challenges to come in a moment, but I thought I'd just take a quick second to look at what Simon from Tussock Game Creations has created here. Huts that he's visited in person in recent years. Some of them he's managed to get here in photogrammetry. I think this is just really great. He's done this himself with a 360 camera. And look, I mean, that's the authentic New Zealand backcountry touch. We've got an outhouse just hiding behind those trees over there. We've got possibly Simon's boots left right down there on the floor, I'm speculating, and even the interior of the hut rendered in photogrammetry as well. That's excellent. That is excellent. And this is what it looks like in Fiordland National Park, the Kintail Hut. Very challenging approach there with that steep valley, isn't it? So the giveaway, I will take a list of everyone who has signed up to the newsletter, and you'll get a, if you do that, you'll get a post from me once a week or once every 2 weeks or so with what's going on and my thoughts on it. And I will assign a random number to everyone in the list. I will then sort by the highest random numbers, and the top 4 people I will contact by email, and I will ask which of the 5 Mountain Hut New Zealand packs by Tussock Game Creations you would like to add to your collection through SimMarket, which is where they're sold. And we will arrange to get that added to your SimMarket account, and you could be maybe flying this yourself if you so wish. So yes, just sign up to the newsletter, and the link is at the top of the video description. Thanks. Okay, next leg on this subalpine adventure. This one here I tried out before, is quite fun. The Mangamaire Saddle Hut Direct 2. Okay, so the wind is, well, let's just deal with the takeoff first. So the wind's coming from, I guess, about over there, my 2 o'clock, and it's only 5 or 6 knots, so it's not too bad. It doesn't trouble the performance of this helicopter, which is not too heavily loaded right now, but we're going to take off down there anyway. We follow the riverbank to get our speed up, and then we will allow ourselves to climb up once we hit about 40-50 knots. And then what? So we need to get down to Mangamaire Saddle here. So what are the issues here? What are the issues here? We've got a couple of, we've got 2 kind of options here, I think. We could follow this ridge along here, get that nice updraft, and then sort of cut across, probably get a bit of a downdraft there, and then updraft again, so this could be quite turbulent going down here. Or we could follow the river and then try this lot instead to keep that, with the wind coming across here, keep that there. I actually think that the more I look at this, I think that the ideal way to go might be down here, take a south turn here, get a bit of height up here, I think is important, so that we're then not getting sort of sucked down into a downdraft on that steep face down there, and then descend into this kind of neck here of this valley. We proceed south in, take a left-hand turn to get up into the hut here. The hut itself, we might be subject to a downdraft here from our left, so we'll be mindful of that. But otherwise we'll take off and see how we go. Okay, left and slightly aft. Raising the collective now. Needed a bit more left cyclic there, but the pedal was about right. So just get ourselves here, just I suppose at this point being mindful of a bit of a hover check, also mindful of the fact that I was quite close to those shrubs behind me, so be careful of that as well. Are we all on the green here? Yes we are, so we can just gently nose down, start to gather speed here over the river. My favourite fallen logs again. There's our effective translational lift kicking in, pulling a bit more collective. We've got quite a bit of power spare here. Gaining speed, which we can now start to turn into climb as well. Well, here we almost are. I have got the Mangamaire Saddle Hut directly ahead. I'm going to not get down into that valley because I think it's safer here to stay a bit higher. And there's a sort of a little plateau plain just behind the hut there, directly ahead. So I judge that I'm going to start descending, yes, but maybe do this in such a way that if I did have to ditch here, if I lost the engine, I might still get it on top of the plateau down there, which I think I've achieved now. It might have just got a bit lower there than what I anticipated, but the hut is down there. I'm looking at directly on my view. I'll turn that POI on for you. There it is. So there's the hut, Mangamaire Saddle Hut, and so I've got a bit of a drop off after it. So I'm going to go downwind here, then I'm going to do a 180, and we proceed kind of upwind to get into the hut there. Quite a dramatic turn there, but we are now, again, we've got the wind maybe at about our 10 or 11 o'clock now, so that's pretty good. Small risk of downdrafts coming down there. The breeze is a little bit lighter than I anticipated. We are dealing with real world weather today. I recommend that you fly with real world weather if you can possibly cope with that, so that you can get the benefit of the weather modeling, the predictive weather, the algorithms that Microsoft Flight Simulator very cleverly has to help you enjoy more in this simulator. Okay, there we are. A nice open space, this one, so no issues there, and I've landed at a sensible distance so as not to upset everyone's supplies that they've left for me over there. All right, one last one. Junction tops, direct to. Now, this one's quite high up, I think over 5,000 feet. More info, 5,065, I should say. There it is. So I'm going to do a turn into the wind. The wind's coming from my left right now. I don't really want to have to climb up this steep slope here to my left, so I'm just going to have to go straight ahead here, and I'll be diving into that valley somewhat to gain speed, and we'll be turning left to get up to junction tops. Left and left, aft, cyclic as well, pulling collective, looking away out from the helicopter, trying to sense what my periphery is telling me. We were not on fully level ground there, so I did need to right the helicopter a bit more there. I could have been a bit better prepared for that left cyclic required to bring the helicopter level again on that slightly uneven slope. So we're all in the green, we nose down. Slightly, we pulled the collective to the top of the green band there for safety, I think, and we are on our way again. Potentially a risk of downdrafts there coming over the crest there on my right, so I'll just for safety's sake hang on this side of the valley as I get some more altitude established. An engine failure here would see me auto-rotating down to the bottom of that valley, which would be pretty hair-raising, I would think, at this point. There's spectacular Lake Taupo off to our west over there, and the prominent peak of Mount Ruapehu in the volcanic plateau in the central North Island is currently obscured there by cloud. So let's just do a quick reconnaissance here at junction tops. And someone got here first. Static scenery added by Tussock Game Creations. Another 500 helicopter and someone's tent up there. Beautiful. So let's just consider what we're going to do here. Wind has maybe moved to the southwest. So I'll lose speed here as I swing around to approach from therefore the northeast so that we're going into the wind. That's always what you want to do, land into the wind if you can. Getting too slow there, Matthew, so let's continue to let that nose down. Collective up, so we don't lose all that energy there. Okay, how are we going here? Just looking for a flat bit of ground. I think it might be slightly flatter here, closer to the other helicopter. Wind is to my left. Ground not even there. If you're going to land on uneven ground, let it be so that you touch the first skid on the higher part of the ground. And then gently lower that collective to let it settle. Yeah, a bit of a lean there. But a good demonstration. So to pick up, I'll just do a really quick position here. So you're going to need that left cyclic in to bring it level then. Almost now. There it is level again with the skid on the higher part of the ground, and then you would pick up from that point. Like that. So I'll just let it settle down again. Lowering the collective once more. There's our little angle on the slope there. And there is our beautiful view looking back towards Lake Taupo and our twin H500 scene here. And the volcanic plateau over there to the left as well. What a glorious place to have a nice afternoon. Cup of tea and bickies maybe. So what do I want you to take from all of this? If there's one thing for you to bear in mind, it's for you to think about the wind and how it's going to affect what you're trying to do in the simulator. Think about that ridge line and how the wind comes up to it, flows up over the top and then down over the other side. If you're more mindful about those updrafts and downdrafts, which direction the wind's coming from, how it might affect your flight plan, you'll get a lot more out of the simulator. And these updrafts and downdrafts genuinely are modeled, sometimes quite strongly, in MSFS 2024. So I'm all about you getting the most out of the simulator and enjoying your helicopter flying. Remember, you can go into the draw to win one of these 5 mountain hut packages from Tussock Game Creations. I love what Simon has done with this. He has invested so much into fine-tuning the mesh, hand modeling some, and then using photogrammetry on others. It's an incredible achievement, and I struggle to think where else in the world it has been done to such great effect as what he has done for his native New Zealand. I think they're tremendous products and well worth checking out. And if you're one of lucky 4 subscribers to my newsletter, you will have your chance to choose one of those 5 packs for yourself. So I hope you've got lots out of this, and I look forward to seeing you in another video real soon. Thanks. See ya.